Welcome to episode 2 of Model Airport Review Season 6 powered by TradeWings. In this video, I am going to review your model airports. The 3 best model airports will progress to the grand finale and the best model airport of this series will win a €10 voucher for the TradeWings webshop. In the previous episode, Kotbus International ranked number 3 with 33 votes. Kologne International second with 45 votes. And the TradeWings Airport of the Week is Nova Scotia with 51 votes. The voting link for today's episode, where you can vote for your favorite model airport featured in this episode, will be down below. Let's get started. For the first airport of today, we go to Germany, where we have Kotbus International Airport. The airport has a runway on the left, a terminal on top, and in the bottom some remote stands. With a lot of lovely ground markings, I like the changes in pavement color, with darker grey, light grey and a medium tint of grey, and also the ground markings with the gate numbers and the different stop positions for different aircraft he has really nicely recreated. Also these concrete tiles he created with a pencil, and this weathering he created by rubbing out the pencil with a damp finger. Really nice work on the ground markings. Also his airport's got a bunch of ground service vehicles, like this pushback tug with a ground worker. All in all, a lovely model airport to start this episode off with. The next airport gives really tropical vibes because it's located in Santa Barbara in the United States. Here is Santa Barbara Municipal Airport. With next to place for model aircraft, he has also modeled a really cool terminal with a road with palm trees behind it. An airport with a bunch of detail, and most of this detail is made out of paper, like the terminal, and also this terrace with actual people watching the airplanes. The jet bridge seems also to be made out of paper, and the same goes for all of these ground service vehicles, where suitcases are actually loaded into the back of this American CRJ. For a 1 to 400 scale airport, I don't often see actual suitcases being loaded into the aircraft. The same here at this United aircraft. I really like the looks of the background, where so much is happening and there is lovely scenery. Overall, we're looking at a very complete model airport with really budget-friendly ground service equipment as it's folded from paper. An incredibly nice looking terminal and also a landside section which you cannot forget. But you might want to add a background to this white wall to add even more realism and a tropical vibe to this already very nice model airport. Airport Review Season 6 is powered by TradeWings, your shop for 3D printed airport accessories like ground service equipment vehicles, airport buildings, and also 1 to 500 scale aircraft models. On their webshop tradewings.shop, use code ARS6 for 10% off your next order. Here is Northern Pennsylvania International Airport, an airport based on an A4 paper which he has colored with markers and pencil. And yes, you did a good job on the ground marking, but as you left the paper white and didn't start with a grey paper, it already gives off this less realistic vibe. Though you've done an awesome job with the GSC, as there are actual airplane engines being loaded as cargo. I also really like this setup, but this white surface immediately gives off this less realistic vibe. So I'm sure if you change that, your airport will look better than it already does. Next we move to Charlotte in the USA, where we have Charlotte International Airport. And the same story as the previous one goes here. He's got a nice variety of model aircraft. All Tiran aircraft, which are budget friendly and a bit less realistic looking than the GeminiJets ones. But they still stand really nice on this model airport. And I also like the branding that you added to the hangars, but be sure to work with a grey, asphalty or concrete looking base, as I've never seen an airport apron white except in the winter when it's snowy. Next we go to Sauerberg International Airport in the Netherlands, where we have this emergency situation where this Czech airline slid off the runway and a bunch of emergency equipment is at the place of the incident. He really nicely recreated these tire marks as it slid off the runway into the grass, and all of the TradeWings GSC really adds to the realism of the situation. He's got a nice variety of retro aircraft like this Lufthansa Boeing 737, this West End Airlines A330, and also a Balkan Holidays, an MD-82 with some lovely bright colors. All in all, a neat looking model airport And I like how he recreated an emergency situation. Here is Yukana International Airport in Germany, with a runway on the bottom and multiple aircraft stands and sections spread around the wooden plank, with an additional plank he built on the left here as well. Quite a big model airport, and there seems to be so much happening around here. Here he's got remote stands, where he's got a bunch of narrow bodies and a bunch of GSC driving around. In the top left, he has got this airplane spotting terrace with a retro model on the roof, which I find a cool detail. The big terminal then features nice double jet bridges, and once again a bunch of ground service equipment. The only thing I really miss are some tiny cones underneath the wingtips and in front of the engines. And these last sections look neat as well, with the beluga with the opening nose, a huge hangar, and some jet bridges here on the left as well. Overall, a lot of things happening, a bunch of GSC, and very nice realism. I have 2 tips for your model airport. When you look at the ground markings, most of them are yellow, with a few white roads in between. Try adding some more red ground markings. Here they could represent a line in between the taxiway and the aircraft stand where equipment is not allowed to pass over to the taxiway. And a background for your airport would be cool as well, but as it's situated on the ground, I see why you don't do that. Next up is Sweep City International Airport in Rotterdam, England. An AMS airport mat with self-added jet bridges and a bunch of GSC. The ground service equipment here comes from GeminiJets. And on the wall he's got these nice airport sign and also a neon LED aircraft icon, which I've loved to see turned on. And here he's got this very nice lineup of low-cost airlines. And a cool addition as well is that he added the Aer Lingus branding to this passenger stair. But you could make this airport look way more unique. Add modeling grass in between the runway and the taxiways. You could even add floodlights, for which I've made a whole explainer video on how to install them, and a background on the wall to make your airport look even more realistic. Next up is Northern Connecticut International Airport. And one thing about this airport which really got me thinking is its shape. What is this half a circle doing here? But he nicely worked his way around it and added aircraft stands quite efficiently with the space. The modeling grass looks neat and I like the flowers that you added on top of them. You might want to try to fix this connection in between these 2 sides of the airport to make them neatly connect to each other. And also your GSC is completely white 3D printed now. With a marker, give it some color. Add wheels, add some windows, and it will already look much better. Next up we go to Germany, where we have Cologne International Airport. And wow, does this already look very nice with the lit up terminal. Really nice looking. And the best part about it, it's fully handmade by himself. And it's a huge terminal, as he's not got one, but in the back a second terminal as well. There is place for so many aircraft on this model airport, and he also added some nice remote stands. This terminal is fantastic. He also added the tiny details of the gate numbers and the Lufthansa branding over here. There is a bunch of ground service equipment, and I like how he has got this parking lot for GSC as well. The ground markings look really neat, really a fantastic job right here. An incredible looking model airport. I am really impressed. We go back to the USA, where we have Central Coast International Airport. Quite a big model airport with 2 runways, a cargo center, remote stands, and a terminal with aircraft stands. Some cool details that I like on this model airport are firstly the palm trees in the back. Furthermore, he added these poppy lights, red and white lights guiding the aircraft down to the runway at the correct height. He added an ILS box and a windsock, all made out of paper. And in the back here at the runway, he added these taxiway signs, which are unmissable at any airport as they help pilots navigate around all of the taxiways. Here is Hoffmann's Bay International Airport in the USA. A single terminal with a neat looking runway on the other side. The terminal looks nice and I like the design of the windows. In this image here, he added the lights with Photoshop, which is a really creative addition. My big tip for you is to add ground service equipment, as on the previous airports we've seen how much of a difference GSC can make. And I'm sure if you do so, you will have a fantastic, realistic looking model airport. Here is the German Taufkirchen International Airport. A snowy model airport, where on this image is a bit of snow, but here a bunch of snow has fallen on the airport. And this could be AI, but he's done a nice job on it. The airport itself is neat, and what I like are the Air Berlin branded buses with actual passengers walking on the passenger stairs. Next to the grass tufts in the background, the rocks also add a really nice addition. And also at this DHL aircraft, he has got the HL branded GSC. And even this Lufthansa airplane is being loaded with Lufthansa branded cargo containers. All in all, a nice model airport. I like the effect that you added of the snow, and all of the branding is nice as well. Here is Concordia International Airport. It consists of 3 squares, which are all connected, and the first thing which I like are the really neat looking markings that he added. And this image has some nice details as well, as we can look into the terminal and actually see a waiting area there, meaning he has got an interior in the terminal. I also like the grass tufts on the top and the A1 and A2 gate signs. In the foreground, he's got a windsock and modeling grass with some flowers and a taxiway sign. All in all, a really neat looking model airport. And that all while it is based on a cardboard basis. Really an excellent job and a neat looking model airport. Here is TF Green Airport in the United States, for which he's created this lovely welcome sign. At night, this airport very nicely lights up thanks to some LED lights. The details here that I like is next to this ILS box, he also added these antennas for horizontal guidance, telling the aircraft whether it's too much left or right approaching the runway. On the airport itself, you can add more ground service equipment, as currently there is none, and you might want to add some grass tufts, flowers or trees around here on the modeling grass to add a cool effect as well. Here is Bergen Luftavven in Norway. A neat Scandinavian model airport with of course the Norwegian Boeing 737 on it. The ground markings look neat, and I love this circular aircraft stand, where aircraft can either park with its nose facing the grass, or it can follow this circle and park with its nose, for example, facing the taxiway. On the top right, he added this fuel depot, which is a cool addition, and I like that he added these red and white boxes on it himself. Also right here, a bunch of passengers walking on the platform, which is a cool addition. My big tip for you would be to add a background here of a cool Norwegian landscape, for example, and also on the grass, add some trees, add some flowers, add some more scenery to make it look more alive. It is Forkheim International Airport in Germany. A big model airport with of course a bunch of German traffic. A nice addition here are the light poles in between the aircraft stands that he added. And looking at the images, they are quite complete, but you could, for example, add passengers, tiny cones in front of the engines and underneath the wingtips, or catering trucks, for example. Next we go to Isla Dorada International Airport in the Caribbean. This very tropical looking model airport with a beautiful blue sea, a bunch of palm trees and a nice looking model airport in the middle with American traffic. And especially on the color of the water, he has done an amazing job. Even without the palm trees, this would already look very tropical to me. And the model airport that he built around it looks really nice as well. I like the different colors with the light grey runway and the darker grey apron. All of the ground service equipment he painted blue, and he's got a great amount of it. Really a cool looking model airport. I really like the creativity on adding the very blue looking sea and also a little piece of sand and beach in the background here. Thank you for giving us some tropical vibes here. Here is Breezeway International Airport in the USA. It's a 1:400 scale airport and once again features a bunch of ground service equipment, which all seems to be 3D printed. And I think this image just shows how adding a bunch of GSC really adds to the realism of the airport. I also like the different tints in grey and darker grey surface here. He's got a nice lineup of United Boeing 757s. And also a 767 of course. And like I said, around it is so much GSC, all colored in the United colors as well. which really makes it look like a nice model airport. And also for you, you could add some passengers or orange cones, but that's really it. For the rest, you have a very nice complete model airport. Next we go to Sweden, where we have Dotaa Airport. It's not a big model airport with only 4 aircraft stands, and on the bottom left a small space where he has got 2 nice looking private jets. Even though it's a tiny model airport, he has got a bunch of things going on here. A nice lineup of European airlines, though I miss the SAS Scandinavian or a Norwegian aircraft here, since it's located in Sweden, but that doesn't make it look less realistic, as there is a bunch of GSC around here as well. I like how the sun shines on this airport, making it look even more realistic with all of these shadows. And the final airport of today is Mayo County Airport in Ireland. It is a AMS airport mat that we've already seen in this video, but now he did add a huge terminal to it with LED lights, which I find cool to see. And these double jet bridges also add realism to it. Around all of the aircraft is a bunch of GSC, and there is a big waiting line for the runway. At this A380 he even added a triple jet bridge, and I like the branding of HSBC that you added yourself on there. A really nice collection of aircraft models you have, but be sure to keep your airport clean. There are a bunch of hairs on here. And this is a really cool image of a United 777. But all of these tiny hairs really bother me. Also, you added these taxiway signs over here, but you could have also added some modeling grass. Be sure to add modeling grass and maybe even the floodlights. And that is it for today. 20 airports have been reviewed this episode, and it's now up to you to choose your favorite one. Through the link in the comment section and description, cast your vote for your favorite model airport of this episode. The top 3 will progress to the grand finale, while the first number 1 placed winner will receive a €10 Trade Wings voucher. Now thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. Please consider to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then I will see you again in the next video.